people, even amongst you heathen, you Hebrew-loving heathens. So you got some heathens out there that say they love the Hebrews. Even you guys got that grafted in doctrine. You heathens are not grafted in. Grafted in, you heathen. Okay? Yeah, you can get that shit out your head. I don't care if Pastor Dowell told you that. I don't give a damn if Deborah. Shit, who told you that? Your heathen ain't grafted in, all right? You're not grafted in, all right?
Who's grafted in then?
Ephraim is grafted in.
Okay.
All right?
And how's that? How that work?
Ephraim is grafted in.
How does it work?
All right? Ephraim is grafted into Judah, all right?
Okay. Praise the Most High. Salutations, saints. And like I said, we got plenty of lessons breaking it down. So we just go follow up on that stream according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Savior, streamed on the 24th. Okay, so from now, what I want to do is I want to go through the different definitions in the Greek, dealing with the people and the nations and the tribes. Okay, and show you how that the translation of these scriptures is understanding these scriptures is only possible by the grace of the Spirit and by the grace of the Spirit gives you to gain the knowledge of how these translations should be translated or interpreted properly. Okay. All right. So let's pick back up and get a couple clips out of here dealing with the message. And basically, this is basically to say that Paul, the so-called apostle to the Gentiles, this is basically to say that Paul, all along, throughout his whole gospel, his message was to people that were of the genealogy of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whether he called them Jews or whether he called them Gentiles or whether he called them Greeks, no matter what walk of life they came from, no matter what region or territory in the world they lived in. Okay, they were always going to be the seed of Abraham, the physical seed. And that's all. That's the point that we're stressing and proving, because that is the true gospel. Okay, that all Israel was being gathered and made one in the body of the Messiah, the Israelites, the stock of Abraham, lost sheep or not lost sheep, meaning Jew or Gentile. Okay, that's right. Okay, praise the Most High.
Stock of Abraham. Brethren, this is Acts 13:26. Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feareth Yahweh, to you is the word of salvation sent.
All right, so now let's break this down. As you see, I got the Strong's numbers so we could get the definitions out of the Bible dictionary. Okay, so again, we pointed out in that video that the stock of Abraham was from the Greek word genos. Okay, so it's men and brethren, children. That word children is really sons, uhos, ohios. I really don't know how to pronounce it. A son. Okay, there's a son. All right. So that's children is really men and brethren, sons of the offspring of Abraham. See how actually Paul is quite specific when you go into the Greek. You know, not only do you not misunderstand what he's saying, but he's quite specific and detailed of what he's about who he's addressing his message to. Okay, so it's the men, the brothers, which is siblings of the same parents. Okay, okay, he's dealing with stock, and again, stock is what? Genos, kindred, offspring. Okay, stock, tribe, nation. Okay, see how much deals with the tribes and the nation. you got so many options to use where you can't mistake the message that is being conveyed. Okay, or once you go into these original languages that the Bible was translated from, in this language it was translated from in the New Testament is Greek. All right, so it's the men, the siblings, the brothers, the sons of the genes of Abraham, his offspring. Now that word "and whosoever among you," okay, now this word "and" is translated from let's see, let's click on it, Kai. So now that could be the word "and," it could be the word "also," but it also can mean something different. It can mean even, it can mean indeed. You see what I'm saying? So now you see how the the power of the message is being emphasized as opposed to adding somebody else. The power of the message is being emphasized when you say indeed, as opposed to adding somebody else to the message if you use the translation "and." Oh, I'm trying to highlight. I'm trying to isolate "and." All right, so when you say "and," you add someone else to the message, as opposed to "indeed," you're just reiterating what. So let's reread it, keeping the translation in mind. That was 26 though, right? I don't know why I went. Okay, I had 23 highlighted. So we're in Acts 13:26. All right. So men and brethren of the same mother and father, children, which really is sons. So men, brothers of the same parents, the sons of the genealogy of Abraham. Man, you see how specific and direct that is? Now, for the tricky translation that these heathen put in here. So not just all those, direct indicators of who he's talking to. He's not adding anybody to that. He just told you so directly and plainly who he was talking to. The people who are genetically connected to Abraham. So he was not going to say, "and whoever among you feared the Most High." That's not what should be translated right here. So it should be "indeed." All right. So not "and," but "indeed whosoever among you feared the Most High." And again, when you say "indeed whoever among you fear the Most High," now you got still all Israelites in there without the room for any heathens coming into this message that Paul is addressing to these Jews at Antioch. So when you put "indeed" as Kai instead of "and," so that's, it's more, it just recertifies that he's making this a directive to the stock of Israel. Okay, men and brethren, sons of the stock of Abraham, indeed whoever among you. All right, now let's look at "among," because that could even be conveyed even clearer than this if we look at the definition "in." So "among" is more than likely translated there, because with this you can use "with." But other than saying those that are with, okay, let me go. Let me go back. Made a mistake. Whosoever among you feared the Most High. is the word of this salvation sent. Now let's look at this word among again. It's translated from this in. So indeed, stock of men and brothers, children of the stock of Abraham. Indeed, instead of putting among. So indeed, the stock of Abraham with. Okay, I'm not adding or taking away nothing. You see, I'm just using what's available as the Bible dictionary's translations. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just showing you how if this was better translated, it would be a better, the message will be conveyed a lot clearer, and you heathens out there wouldn't be thinking that you grafted in or somehow amongst the house of Israel when it comes to these promises that's given to us. And when we get to verse 33, where we're going to probably end this at, verse 33 is going to make it very clear that it's still all to Israel who the promise was given to. And when the Messiah came, it was fulfilled to us. All right, so here we go. Now let's reread this. I mean, now remember. This not. I didn't skip. I don't know how I got off my mark. Let's go back to Acts 13 and 26. All right, so we got the numbers out of there. Now we're going to read it with other words available out of the dictionary, put in here where we feel they will be rightly dividing this word as opposed to misleading with the wrong translation. Men and brothers. Okay, sons of the stock of Abraham. So men and brother, all you people with all you families of Abraham is another way that could be put. Okay, men and brothers, sons of the tribes of Abraham. Remember that word stock was also available as tribe. See what I'm saying? So multitudes, men and brother, children of the stock of Abraham, instead of and, indeed, whosoever among you, the word we was going to use there, wait a minute, let me go to KJV light. And whosoever among you. And so that's not really how that should be broken down. Let me highlight it. And whosoever among you, that should be indeed whosoever with fear. Whosoever with you that fears the Most High. Okay? To use this word of salvation sent. All right? Now, I want to make this, I don't want to make this too complicated. Matter of fact.
So do you hear who the Apostle Paul just proclaimed that the word of salvation was sent to? The men of the stock of Abraham who feared the Most High. All among them that feared the Most High. Yeah, that's right. The Most High, the true and living. You see what I'm saying? Because if you had a proselyte or alien, whether they were the real stock of Abraham or not, we knew if they weren't. All right? We knew if we had aliens with us. And the aliens knew who the Most High was through us. So what I'm saying is even if you had heathens hearing the word, those heathens heard the true word, and those heathens either believed.
Unlike today, you heathens ain't hearing the true word because you don't even know who the true Jews is. Again, back in the days before this great tribulation and the great falling away, people still knew who the true Hebrews were.
Or didn't believe the true word along with the Jews who they were following. Because that's the only reason why any heathen would have been in the synagogue or anywhere near it. Some sort of proselyte, convert. And again,
most importantly, this is my belief.
It really would be my belief that all the proselytes and converts would have been of some sort of stock of Abraham.
That word,
Okay.
genos, they still would have been the gene knowledge.
Way
Okay,
back,
they would have still been his offspring,
before,
no matter Jew or Greek.
Certain dispersions, scatterings, and captivities.
We put the strangers away.
We had strangers with us, like when we had coming out of Egypt. You might have not have been a Jew, but you could have been an Ephraimite. All right, and you will be welcomed in. All right, after some probation or something like that.
All right, so that's what that means. That you could be Jewish, meaning you could be of the circumcision, or you could have been one of those lost sheep who were what they call a devout man, and so you kept all the customs of your people. All right, because you were one of those devout people, even though you wasn't of the tribe of Judah. You feared the Most High. You fell in this spot right here. Okay, you feared the Most High, being what? You feared the Most High, which was part of the criteria, along with this being a part of the criteria. Okay, you had to be of the stock of Abraham. See, men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham. See, the genos, the genealogy, the offspring of Abraham, and not and as in also. Okay, not and or also, but we're going to use indeed. Okay, so we're going to use indeed. The stock of Abraham, indeed, whosoever among you, and again, among is in. So the stock of Abraham, indeed, not among you. We're not going to use among. That's a bad translation, but we're going to say with. So the stock of Abraham with, because as you see, this word whosoever, where's the definition for that? Okay, so that goes to show you more tricky translation, man. There's no word list. There's no Greek definition next to that. But that, I mean, they just added that word whosoever. Okay, that's damn right, man. They had to. Where is the definition for whosoever? You see this? Where's the Greek? Where's the Greek definition number that's supposed to go after this word to show you where it's translated from? There is no G anything behind that word because that word has been added. So whosoever with you is really what they want to tell you. They really want you to think that it's the seed of Abraham, whosoever is with them among them, the Most High. But that's not what that means, man. There's no whosoever is not in the text. Whosoever is not in the damn text. Because if it was in the text, it would give us where the shit was translated from. But it don't give us that because it's not in the text. And that's added right there. Because these damn heathen don't fear the commandment. They add and they take away as they like. Because they don't fear the Most High. And that's why they're going to be justly thrown in that lake of fire and have all the plagues added unto them. And have a part of the holy city taken away from them. Because they add and take away from his prophecy as they like. All right. So now you see that whosoever don't have a definition there because it's not really there. But among has a definition. And that word ain't even the damn definition. It's not even defined properly. Among is translated from in, which it means with. Okay, in this context. So the stock of Abraham with, okay, human with you. The stock of Abraham with you feared the Most High, to use the word of this salvation sin. All right. So now we got all the definitions of this verse. we're gonna reread it properly translated. Okay. Oh, there's one key word we need to get the definition for, and that's feareth. Okay, because it said, "Whosoever among you feareth God." All right, so let's get feareth, and feareth is gonna be from phobio out of the Greek. So in other words, you're scared of the Most High to put to flight by terrifying. So you are terrified at Him. All right, to frighten. All right, so all right, now let's get the proper breakdown for how this should be read. Let's take the Strong's numbers away. I, men and brethren, sons of the stock of Abraham, indeed with you fear of the Most High. To you is the word of this salvation sent. You see what I'm saying? That's really what he's trying to say. If you're the seed of Abraham and you got the fear of the Most High with you, not if you got a heathen with you, but if you got the, see, whosoever was just added. So it's not really saying if you're the stock of Abraham and whoever among you and whoever with you, whoever is not in the text, we just saw that. And we just saw that among should be better translated with. And so when you say with, and you don't have, when you block out whosoever and you just go men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham with you, that's fear. With you fear or phobia. So with you the terror of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? That's right. That's right. The stock of Abraham with, okay, with you the phobia of the Most High. To use the word of salvation said. So if you tremble at his word, okay, that's all it's really saying. If you're the stock of Abraham and you tremble at the word of the Most High, then this is the message. This message is just for you, because you're the candidate for who this message is sent to. Okay, and so he goes into what happened at Jerusalem, because these people again are all in Antioch in the heathen territory. But you see, Paul said if you was the stock of Abraham genealogy. Now let's go ahead and get to the conclusion and end this. This really wasn't supposed to be this long. 32 and 33. All right. So you heard what he just said, and we declare unto you. So he's talking to some who you Christians and all you other unlearned people would say were Gentiles or heathens, right? That's what you would think. You would be saying. Okay. But the gospel message of Paul, even at Antioch, was to Hebrews by genealogy, the stock of Abraham. And we declare unto you. So he just gave the whole message of what happened to Jesus, the breakdown, the history, and everything. And now the conclusion of it is now we're giving you this good news, this gospel. And we declare unto you glad tidings. Okay, Paul declaring glad tidings to some people at Antioch. But are they the heathens, or are they still the seed of Israel? How that the promise which was made unto the fathers. Okay, so we the fathers, all right? And that word is again paternal or pater, meaning your physical paternal ancestor. And just so we can, since we're on the definition, find emission, let's just go ahead and hit it. Pater, generator or male ancestor. Okay, praise the Most High. Now, so that's the glad tidings. It's the gospel. All right. We declare unto you glad tidings. Okay. How that the promise which was made unto the paternal ancestors the Most High hath fulfilled the same. So he's fulfilled the gospel, the promise to who? All people in the world, or just still to the children of Israel? The Most High hath fulfilled the same unto us, their children. Again, their sons. Let's go ahead and get it. And again, you're the sons of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Most High hath fulfilled the same unto us. Is that? Oh, that's Technon. That's children. That's Technon. Their offspring. So that's male and female. That's not just the sons, which is Uios or what have you. I don't know how you pronounce it in Greek. But this is Technon, the offspring. So he's fulfilled which is absolutely correct, because the promise was to who? The sons and the daughters of Israel. Okay, so he fulfilled the same unto us, their offspring, in that he hath raised up Jesus again. So you're telling me after Jesus rose from the dead, when he rose from the dead, it wasn't so that Paul and the disciples who was already following the Messiah could go and preach to the heathens now. But actually, when Jesus rose from the dead, it was to do what? It was to fulfill the promise that the Most High made unto the children of the forefathers. Period, point blank. The Most High had fulfilled that same promise unto us, their children. How did he do it? In that he raised up Jesus again. So in other words, the Messiah being raised from the dead didn't mean go graft in no heathens. It meant now everything's fulfilled. The promise is fulfilled. You people are healed, and you have a guarantee that you're healed, because the lamb that was slain for you rose from the dead, which is our shepherd. Truly, that lamb is our shepherd, the son of David. The sacrificial lamb was slain for you, but he was so holy that he rose from the dead. So you know you're healed, Israel. The Most High has fulfilled the same unto us, their children, and that he hath raised up Jesus again from where? The dead, as is written in the second Psalm, thou art my begotten son. This day have I begotten thee. Okay, and again, in the second Psalm, as it is written, let's just go to that real quick. This day have the Most High begotten thee. In that second Psalm, well, guess what? He tell you right here. Well, let's show you that that's what he talking about. He told you it was the second Psalm, but here you go. Okay. All right, and this is what he referenced. He begotten the most High said he begot the Messiah this day. Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee, right? Now, what was a part of that gift to his son? Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Okay, so that's what's the gospel being fulfilled to the heathen. It's not that they go be saved or grafted in into the goodness or the fatness of the olive tree of Judah. No, the fulfillment of the promise to your heathen is that you're going to be broken to pieces when we whip your ass with this rod of iron that the Messiah going to give us, just like he whooped your ass with it when the Most High gave it to him. Okay, so the resurrection of the Messiah itself was to fulfill the promise to us and our forefathers, or to our forefathers and us, their children. To fulfill, and again, a part of that promise was what? To break the nations, not to graft in the nations. Okay? That's right. All right? The Most High hath fulfilled the same unto us, their children, and that he had raised up Jesus again, as it is also written in the second Psalm. And like we just told you, the second Psalm told you that we was going to break the heathens, not graft them in. See that? Glad tidings being declared to the people at Antioch. The promise that the Most High made. You see that? The promise was made unto the fathers. the Heavenly Father hath fulfilled the same unto us their children. Okay? And how did he do it? That he raised up the Messiah from the dead. Okay?
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that those Pharisees, if you wasn't the stock of Judah, if you wasn't from the tribe of Judah, them Pharisees, them the kind of guys that, you know, they was going to make sure you knew your stuff, all right, before you could be, you know, coming along, tagging along, and being associated with them as Jews, men of the circumcision, men of the law, all right? So it was all Israelites. To put it simply, this is all Israelites, all right? And again, Paul can say it better than me. Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, all right? Okay? Oh, I lost my spot. So let me get right back. Let me get that spot back. Okay, men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feared Yahweh, you is the word of this salvation sent. All right, so it was sent to the seed of Abraham in Paul's gospel, just like it was in all the prophets. All right, just like it was with the Messiah and all the other apostles. Okay, now what's the word stock out of the Greek? The stock of Abraham is the genos of Abraham. Stock, tribe, nation. So if you were of the, and you know that word right there is where you're going to get the word genealogy or gene from. So in other words, you had to be physical seed of Abraham, not no spiritual seed like the heathen whore whose video, you know, had you look real strong, thinking she, you know, some special heathen, okay, because she really breaking this shit down, talking about, you know, them the fake Jews over there, the Most High people scattered in all the world, all the good stuff, only to turn around and say, but all the heathen nations in the world is Israel.
That's right. Too good to be true.
Right?
That's right. Come on, let's get up here and wrap this up. Get the last little bit of commentary.
In other words, a heathen having the understanding of these scriptures and teaching other heathens the truth, that's too good to be true. All right? I mean, because I heard a heathen teaching the scriptures, breaking it down properly, and teaching that truth to other heathens, I would commend them. But white people, even amongst you heathens, you Hebrew-loving heathens, so you got some heathens out there that say they love the Hebrews. Even you guys got that grafted in doctrine. You heathens are not grafted in.
Nope.
Grafted in, you heathen. Okay? Yeah, you can get this shit out your head. I don't care if Pastor Dowell told you that.
That's right.
I don't give a damn if Deborah and the Watchmen, I don't give a shit who told you that.
That's right.
You heathen ain't grafted in.
Nope.
All right? You're not grafted in. All right? Ephraim is grafted in.
That's
all
right.
Ephraim is grafted in. All right? Ephraim is grafted into Judah. All right?
That's how it works.
Straight up.
Praise the Most High.
And we got plenty of lessons breaking that down. We ain't going to go into that. So, Paul just addressed the stock, the genealogy of Abraham. So he said,
that's right.
This had to be two conditions with Paul in order to hear this word right here that he's preaching. You got to be of the stock of Abraham. You got to be of his genealogy, and you have to fear the Most High.
That's right. That's right.
So it's not good enough to be his seed. Like the Messiah said, I know you're Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me. Mm-hmm. A man that told you the truth. Mm-hmm. Abraham didn't do this. Mm-hmm. So you're not Abraham's seed. You're the seed of your father, the devil. All right? So you can be the stock of Abraham, but you must also believe, or else, you know, you're being the Abraham seed, you know, it's nullified if you're an infidel or unbeliever. That's totally void, null and void, okay, if you don't believe the word. Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feared Yahweh, to use the word of this salvation sent. For they that dwell at Jerusalem and their rulers, because they knew him not, nor yet the of the prophets, which are read every Sabbath day, they have fulfilled them in condemning him. So Paul, way in Antioch, Paul's way in Antioch telling these Jews in Antioch, it's common sense to tell you if you read the law and the prophets, that this was the guy. So Paul basically telling some people at Antioch, man, you guys know what this whole story is about. You can get this stuff. I mean, we read this stuff every Sabbath day. So again, the point is this, that the so-called Gentiles that the apostles went and preached to weren't really heathens. They were Jews, men of the stock of Abraham who could relate to such things as this, the law and the prophets. Okay, that sort of thing. Okay? So he's in reality fulfilling the ministry just as it was prophesied. The Most High was going to get the Messiah to be a light to the people. Again, the people was what? The tribe, the singular tribe. A light to the tribe, and that tribe is Judah. All right?
And again, in the Old Testament, you have to use the same, you have to use the same, discretion when interpreting the certain passages, because the translation wasn't in place correctly, or should I say the word wasn't placed properly. Okay, when it was translated, the proper word wasn't being used sometimes. So here you go. That's the precept for that light to the nations that we just referenced. This is gonna be Isaiah 49:6. Yeah, and he said, "It is a light thing that thou shouldst be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob." Okay. And to restore the preserve of Israel. Okay. And here goes some tricky translation again. Okay. Because now it seems like, well, that's all the tribes right there. So who else could this be talking about but the heathen? I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. Well, that don't fly at face value on the plain surface when you remember what we just saw previously in Acts 13. Okay, who was the word of that salvation sent to? The word of that salvation was, Paul even said that word of that salvation was sent only to the stock of Abraham. Indeed, those with the fear of the Most High, because that's what makes you the stock of Abraham. If you had the fear of the Most High, see, that's what he really meant. The stock of Abraham. Indeed, those with the fear, the phobia of the Most High, the fear, the terror of the Most High, right? I need the 26. Okay, so the salvation to the ends of the earth was to who? Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham. All right, indeed. Okay, remember, and is indeed. Remember, whosoever is not really there. Indeed, among is with. So, okay. With you, fear, which should say fear of Yahweh, fear of the Most High. So again, the stock of the man Abraham, who has the fear of the Most High, not among, but with you, fear of Yahweh, is what that should say. To you is the word of salvation said, not to the heathen. Because why would he be talking to the stock of Abraham right here if they already were saved? But now he's got to go to the ends of the earth to give salvation to some heathens. Why is the heathens in the stock of Abraham all together? If that's not what Isaiah was really talking about, okay, it was Israelites all together. He was talking about Israelites all together. That's why the words "a light to the people" and the tribes is really the men of the circumcision by this point. The men who were keeping the law and the commandments, as opposed to the Hellenes at this point. The Hellenists, the people who were, practicing as the Grecians because they were, scattered and separated from their heritage. You see? All right, but this was supposed to be quick, or a quick, study. I don't know if it was supposed to be quick or not, but I mean, it's going to be thorough is what it's going to be, regardless if it's quick. Okay, so Isaiah was prophesying about the same thing. So Isaiah wasn't really trying to say it was going to be Jews or Hebrews and then heathens, all across the world. No, he was saying it was going to be the Hebrews in the land and the rest of the seed that were scattered, who wouldn't even call themselves Hebrews. They was call themselves after whatever nation they were in, and that's why we call them the nations, as opposed to the people or the tribes. They were just the nations. So to them was the word that salvation sent. Okay? The stock of Abraham. All right? The stock of Abraham, their sons, the offspring, and of the genealogy of Abraham. Okay? Indeed, with you fear of Yahweh, to use this word of salvation sent. Now let's go back and reanalyze Isaiah 49:6. And he says, "A light thing that thou shouldst be my servant to raise up the tribes," which is Shabbat. So what's a Shabbat? That's just a rod. And a rod, again, is an offshoot, and Jacob had 12 offshoots. Okay? And what happened? When Solomon lost the kingdom, he only got left one tribe. And really that was Judah, but you had Benjamin and Levi there. Okay, so that was Israel. That was the preserved of Israel. The southern kingdom was the preserved of Israel. That's what you see when you see the tribes of Jacob. Because Jacob really, if you remember our revelation, that truly one of the secrets of the kingdom is when you see Jacob, you see Judah. And again, that's who was left. It was Judah that was left. Judah restored. I mean, it preserved. Judah was who was preserved of Israel, okay? So the tribes of Benjamin and the Levites that were, and whoever was in the land, they were all called the tribes of Jacob, but really they were the territory of Judah. Were they not the territory of Judah? That's the tribes of Jacob. That was the preserved of Israel. They were preserved in the land. Okay, and where did the Messiah go and preach his gospel? He went to the land, to some people who were still being preserved in that land. And then what happened? When he said, "If I die, I'm lifted up, I'll draw all men to me." Paul went to Antioch, and who did he try to draw to the Messiah? Men that were the stock of Abraham. That's who he was trying to tell about this salvation. So again, the Messiah was trying to show you that you Jews were preserved. Okay, and yeah, I am here to raise you guys up. But guess what? I'm also here to be a light to the Gentiles, the nations. I'm here to get some light to the nations of Ephraim so that they can get their salvation too. As it was promised to who? Our fathers. A light for the nations, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth. And again, go back to Acts 13. It was fulfilled to who? And it has also been written in the second Psalm, you are my son. Oh, wait a minute, I got the wrong translation. Here we go. Acts 13:33. Yahweh had fulfilled the same unto us, their children, and that he had raised up Yahushua again. What did he fulfill when he raised up Yahushua again? He fulfilled the glad tidings, which is the gospel. He fulfilled the gospel. He fulfilled the promise, which was the gospel. He fulfilled the gospel, which was a promise to the people. What people? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the fathers, our fathers. He made a promise to them. And the Most High fulfilled it. He fulfilled it. And he fulfilled it to certain people. And this is how he fulfilled it. And that he raised up Yahushua again. So the Messiah being raised from the dead was a fulfillment of the promise to the people of Israel. And I think one more we might have to give before we go. And then let the Messiah tell it to you out of his own mouth. Matter of fact, bless the Holy Spirit. For that, Luke chapter 4. And then we might have to go back. We might have to go to Isaiah 2 to show you where he get this from out of Luke. Okay, let's get down here. 4:17. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. Okay, and when he had opened the book, he found a place where it was written, the Spirit of Yahweh is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Okay. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of Yahweh. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister, and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. And he began to say unto them, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears. Okay, so he fulfilled it when he preached to Israelites, not heathens. Again, it was fulfilled, Jesus preaching and being a light and all the stuff that he had to do with his life on the earth. Everything he had to do that was prophesied about him, he said it was fulfilled. Everything that he had to do during his lifetime on the earth, he said it was fulfilled. Everything was fulfilled that he had to do. In the ears of that that assembly over there at Capernaum where he went to, man. So in other words, if he was supposed to be a light to some Gentiles, that means he had already been a light to some Gentiles. That's what he's trying to show you. Okay? The Spirit of Yahweh is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He had sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, to recover sight to the blind, set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of Yahweh. And again, if you think the acceptable year of Yahweh has something to do with accepting some heathens, you're still wrong. Now let's get where the Messiah pulled this from. Scriptures 2009 to show you the precept was Isaiah 61. Let's go click to Isaiah 61. So the Messiah was reading from Isaiah, right? Now let's see if the acceptable year of the Most High was for some heathens too. The Spirit of the Master Yahweh is upon me because Yahweh has anointed me to do what? Bring good news to the meek, just like we just saw. The Messiah said it was fulfilled. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim the release to the captives, and the opening of prison to those who are bound. We're going to go to the other translation real quick, though. All right. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, okay, right? To heal, right? That's right. To proclaim liberty to the captives Okay, now who captives, man? It's us, the Hebrews, that are still captive. We still captive everywhere we was the children of Judah, the children of Israel were oppressed together. All that took them captive, held them fast. They refused to let them go. But their Redeemer is strong. Who's our Redeemer? This man right here, the Son of David. Liberty to the captives, okay? And the opening of prison to them that are bound, okay? Again, to set us free. To do what? To proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh. Okay, so now, the acceptable year of Yahweh. Now, in the Christian church, that is where they tell you, in the Christian church doctrine, this is the breakdown for the acceptable year of Yahweh. Is that, Jesus, he came to his own received him not. And so now gospel of salvation is granted to the heathen. And that's the acceptable year of Yahweh. But they totally lying. That's why you got to look at precept upon precept. See, Jesus, when he said the acceptable year of Yahweh, when he said it was fulfilled, you would have to read that scripture before to know what he was talking about. And if you read that scripture before, you know something else. The acceptable year of Yahweh ain't a lovey-dovey year. Okay? See, praise the Most High. Let's go back to this. Now, the acceptable year of Yahweh ain't a lovey-dovey year where we all hold hands and be friends with the heathen. The acceptable year of Yahweh is what? The day of vengeance. Okay? And the day of vengeance of our Elohim. Okay? So the acceptable year of Yahweh is a day of vengeance. So he gonna pay your heathens back, just like he told David in the second Psalm. I'm gonna give you a rod of iron to break these people to pieces. Okay? And so again, that vengeance, when he break the people to pieces, is gonna do what? It's gonna comfort us that mourn, all that mourn. And again, is it everybody who mourn? No, it's those who mourn in Zion. To point unto them in Zion, man. To point to them that mourn in Zion. You see that? To give them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise, the white robe, and all that stuff for the spirit of heaviness. That's to the people of Zion. That who? I don't know how we keep losing the spot. All right. That they might be called, all right, trees of righteousness. Man, I don't know what's going on. It's something really okay, but I'm not even touching my darn on screen, and I'm still getting it. It's still switching out on me. But anyway, we're just about done. Praise the Most High for another good study lesson. To do what? To preach the gospel of that kingdom before the end come, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the plan of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. So his glory is bound up in his people, man. And we ain't talking about the Ashkenazis that's in Zion. The motherfuckers not mourning. No, they murdering. They're not mourning. But us that mourn in Zion are those of us who hold the testimony of our Hebrew covenants and promises made to our forefathers. We're the ones that's mourning in Zion because we're scattered in all nations, falling by the edge of the sword, and we're captive. Okay, we're the ones that mourning because we're what? We're captive, man. We're prisoners. We're bound in okay. See, we're captives, man. All right. So we're the ones that need some vengeance on our damn enemies. And again, I said I was gonna try to end this, but the vengeance and all that stuff, the oil of joy for the people of Zion, the acceptable year, Yahweh, the day of vengeance of Allah. Hey man, what's all that? Hey, all that's for Israel, man. Okay? Yeah, that's right, man. What I'm looking for. Oh, okay. I thought it was, here we go. See, the day of vengeance of our Elohim. All right, so here go that parable about the unjust judge. All right, and the point was, if you're mourning in Zion, you got to endure it. Don't faint. And how did you do that? You got to pray. You got to, matter of fact, always pray. Okay? And he's talking to his people, about his people. You know, it says men always pray. But the whole story goes into an unjust judge and a widow that needed some vengeance. Okay? Avenge me of mine adversary. All right? So again, vengeance. Okay? For your adversary. Now, he said he was going to get the day of vengeance out of, in the acceptable year of Yahweh. He was going to get his day of vengeance in his acceptable year. Okay. Now, he told you that that was for the people that was in Zion to be comforted over that vengeance. That's right. So the unjust judge avenges this widow. And Yahushua, after all of that, his point was this. Hear what the unjust judge said. If he's going to avenge this widow, and shall not Yahweh avenge the day of what? Remember Isaiah? The day of vengeance of our Yahweh? The year, his acceptable year dealt with his day of revenge. So Yahweh avenge in his acceptable year is not to hold hands with a heathen, but his acceptable year is the day of his vengeance. Shall not Yahweh avenge? Now, when he go and get vengeance in his acceptable year and the day of his vengeance, who is Yahweh going to avenge? Yahweh avenge his own elect. Okay? That's what we're trying to show you, man. That's what we're trying to show you. Yahweh avenge his own elect, okay? And you know, anybody can get mad and go and try to pay somebody back and take vengeance on them for something they did. But if they ain't strong enough to get their ass whooped, just like their buddy got their ass whooped. But we see Yahweh, okay, he's King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and when he avenge, he gonna do the ass whooping. You see, because you guys that he's gonna avenge are the heathen nations. You destroying mountains. You might think you're strong, but the strength of you mountains is his also. The strength of the hills is his also. So all the power that you heathen got, it belongs to him. And so when he come to avenge, you ain't gonna have no power against him. Yahweh gonna avenge his own elect, okay? See, and guess what? He gonna get you good, because Yahweh ain't no punk, okay? He's a man of war, all right? And so when a man of war come to get vengeance, okay, when a man of war come get vengeance, that's the end of you, all right? And we're going to show you one more time that the Most High is a man of war. Not no hold hand, lovey-dovey, love no heathen, salvation gospel. All right, praise the Most High. This is Exodus chapter 15, verse 2. Yah is my strength and song, and he's become my salvation. He is my Allah, and I will prepare him an habitation. My father's Elohim. Okay, remember my father's, with the children, the promise was made to the fathers, and he fulfilled the same to us, their children. See, this is a genetic condition. My father's Elohim. Okay, my paternal ancestor, and I will exalt him. So, okay, now let's read this again. Yah is my strength and song. This is the song of Moses now. And he has become my salvation. He is my Allah, which is my power, okay, my judge. And I will prepare him an habitation. So I'm going to build a sanctuary for him. That's right. My father's judge, or judges. This is plural here. And I will exalt him. Okay. What else? Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Okay, bless his holy name, man. Salutation to the saints. Shalom to the elect. Ain't no peace to the wicked. Come, Yahweh Shai, come. Khan, Aman, and Aman. Barakat Hashem, Yahweh, Basham, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, Malak, Yasharallah, Basham, Hakodash, Rakah, Man.